What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ravi Wadden, and in today's video, I want to talk about the newly announced Tesla lease buyout option. So if you've followed my channel or if you follow Tesla, you know that if you leased a Tesla in the past, you didn't have the option to buy out your Tesla at the end of the lease term. You had to turn your Tesla back in to Tesla. And, because of that, many people were reluctant to lease a Tesla, right? Because a lease buyout option is a great option because sometimes you love the car, sometimes it makes financial sense to keep the car, and a lease buyout option gives you options, as the name suggests. So what we'll do in this video is we'll take a look at the Tesla Model 3 lease and the Tesla Model Y lease, and we'll talk about what the lease buyout option is on those cars and how lease buyout options work. And then in the second part of this video, I'll show you when it makes financial sense to actually buy your leased car, because as enticing as it sounds, it doesn't always make sense to buy your leased car at the end of the lease term. So enough with the intro. The last thing I wanted to mention is that if you want to save money up to $2,000 on your next Tesla, I do have a referral link below. So if you're looking to lease or finance a new Tesla, check out my referral link. It'll help you save some money. But with that, let's go ahead and jump into the computer behind me and get this video started. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are on Tesla's website. And what we're going to do is click on Order Model Y. And what's going to happen here on the right-hand side is I'm going to select Lease because you have three options: cash, lease, finance. I'm going to go with the long-range all-wheel drive. And then I'm going to uncheck this box that says include estimated gas savings of $100. Now, what you can do if you're looking to customize your Tesla is you can select your color, you can select the wheels that you want, you can select if you want a tow hitch, what color interior you want, and whether you want a 5 or a 7 seat interior. And then what you can do, and then select if you want full self-driving. And then what you can do is actually go back up to the top and then click on Edit Terms and Savings. Now, what you'll see here in the fine print down below, you'll see this language right here where it says lease vehicles are subject to a $395 disposition fee at return. But now you have the option to purchase this particular car as it's spec'd out for $30,122 plus applicable taxes and fees, and purchase fee of up to $350 subject to terms in the lease agreement. The purchase option may not be available in Iowa or Louisiana or where prohibited by state law. And the great thing about this is that this buyout price actually dynamically changes if you change the lease term. So let's say you didn't do 10,000 miles a year and you actually wanted to do a 15,000 mile a year lease, right? So that means that you would have drove the car 15,000 miles and the depreciation value, would be greater on that particular car because you've driven it 15,000 miles more over the course of 3 years. And as you can see here, this price has adjusted to $28,147. So it has decreased the purchase or the buyout amount at the end of the lease term. And this goes for all Teslas. So even if I click on Order Model 3, and let's just say that I wanted to do a red Tesla Model 3, let's do a long-range all-wheel drive, and let's click on Edit Terms and Savings, and you'll see that at 36 months, 10,000 miles a year, the option to purchase is $31,037. And if we did, 12,000 miles, you'll see that this adjusts to $30,000 or $30,019. Now, in this part of the video, I want to talk about when it makes sense to buy your leased vehicle, because a lot of people just think it's the right thing to do. It's just like the default right thing to do, but there is a financially correct way of doing it. So let's talk about that in this part of the video. Okay, so let's say that I'm going to lease this Tesla Model 3 at 12,000 miles a year. The monthly payment is $403 a month. And now at the end of 3 years, let's say it's 35 months into my lease, and I know that I can buy this car for $30,000 around $30,000. Well, what I want to do is, the first thing I want to do is check to see what Tesla Model 3s are going for on the open market. So I'd go to a place like cars.com, to autotrader.com, kbb.com, and see what similar vehicles are selling for. Now, if I see that similar vehicles are maybe selling for, with 36,000 miles, are selling for, let's say, $35,000, hey, that looks like, you know, I might have some equity here, so it might make some financial sense. So what I can do in that scenario is I can buy that car for $30,000 or $30,019 plus tax. So here in the state of Washington, roughly $33,000. And, you know, I can either turn around and sell it and maybe profit $1,000 or $2,000, assuming I could sell it for $35,000. Or what I could do instead of buying it and then reselling it is just buy the car outright, right? So I know that I can buy it for $30,000.19. Or what you could do is end up buying this car because it makes financial sense. So let's say that, you know, you got a 12,000 mile a year lease and maybe you drove 20,000 miles a year. And, you know, instead of paying the excess mileage penalty of 25 cents per mile, let's just say that, you know, the amount that you would pay in penalties outweighs or is more than the actual purchase price of the car. Like, to buy the car is cheaper than to pay the excess mileage penalty. So that's another reason that maybe you'd want to purchase this car. Or let's say that maybe you didn't drive it much at all. Like, you got 12,000 miles a year, but you only ended up driving it, let's say 12,000 miles over the course of 3 years. You know, in that kind of a scenario, maybe this car is actually worth more than $30,000. So at the end of the day, whatever your scenario is, you want to make sure that the car is either worth more than the buyout amount, or you want to make sure that the cost of $30,000.19 outweighs, you know, maybe some excess wear and tear penalties, or maybe the mileage penalties. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense to buy the lease, because if the value of this car is only $25,000, there's no point of buying it for $30,000. Then what you're doing is just walking into negative equity. And on top of that, the car is going to be, you know, more or less out of warranty in about another, let's say, another year. So that's all things that you need to consider. So when a lot of people think that just because you have the buyout option on the lease that it always makes sense to do that, it really doesn't. There are things that you need to factor in. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it a video. If you have any particular questions about how the buyout option works on Teslas or for any other leases, please let me know in the comment section below. And if you want to save up to $2,000 on your next Tesla lease or Tesla purchase, be sure to check out my referral link below. But with that, I'm going to call it a video. Thank you all for watching. Financial knowledge is power. Please like and follow for more.